Hello and welcome back. Since you've now finished reading the Bacchae and you're about to go into your second test, and a lot of this test will have to do with Greek tragedy, I thought it might be helpful for us to compare these Greek tragedies by some of the terms that Aristotle laid out and some of the terms that I've laid out for you, and see how they do side by side. So let's have a look, shall we? So let's talk about the plays we've read so far, and the first is the Eumenides. Who is the tragic hero in the Eumenides? Well, this is tough, since nothing Orestes does in this play in particular brings about any kind of doom. Still, by doing what he does, he brings the Furies against him. So I guess we could say Orestes, but it's not strong. When is there a negative turn of events in the play? Well, there's a turn of events that happens in the play that's negative, but it's really only for the Furies, and that's when their importance gets changed momentarily, and in their eyes downgraded. But not really. I guess if we were still sticking with Orestes as our tragic hero, we would have to say it's the moment he goes on trial. Does Orestes gain any kind of gnosis about the way things really are? I'm going to say no, because he knows what he's done is right going into the play, and he knows it's right going out of the play, so there's no real change of events. Catharsis. Well, at the end of this play, our guy gets off, but that happens a few hundred lines before the play is even over. So I guess it happens when Orestes gets acquitted. Not a really strong case for tragedy, though. Let's talk about Oedipus the King. In Oedipus the King, our tragic hero is Oedipus. And peripeteia occurs, I think, when he learns the truth about his life. Gnosis? Yes. He gains gnosis, his wife gains gnosis, so Oedipus learns who he really is. Catharsis. We get it when we learn that nothing else bad can happen to Oedipus. What about Antigone? Now, by now, you've engaged in your discussion for this last week about Antigone. And who's the tragic hero of this play? Well, as it turns out, that Antigone wasn't really the name of this play. We just decided later on to call it that because it seems to be about her. But really, the tragic hero in this play is Creon. Why? Because he's the one who gets gnosis at the end, right? Antigone doesn't get any gnosis. She doesn't learn anything more about the way things are. He commits acts of hubris, right, against others. He has hamartia, right? And this is how we judge a tragic hero. He will act arrogantly, and he will miss the mark in trying to do the right thing, just bringing about doom. The peripeteia happens when 3 people die as a result of Creon's actions. Gnosis. Does Creon gain gnosis? Yes. He learns not to be so rigid. Catharsis. And this is very similar to when it is in Sophocles' other play, Oedipus the King. Medea. Our tragic hero here is probably Medea. How good of a tragic heroine is she? Not terribly good. I mean, she's going to commit acts of hamartia. But when does the peripeteia come about? It comes about for others when she kills her in-laws. And her children. Does she gain gnosis? I'm going to put a question mark here because I don't think she does. Catharsis. I guess when she flies away. And we know she can't do any more harm on the stage in front of us. The Bacchae. Who's our tragic hero? It is clearly Pentheus. Why is he our tragic hero? He commits hamartia. He makes others feel bad to make himself feel better. Right? He is hubristic. Right? What is the peripeteia in this play? It is when his mother kills him. Gnosis. Does Pentheus gain any gnosis in this play? No, he's hypnotized and dazed. So he doesn't really gain any knowledge about the way things are. His mother does. When does our catharsis come? When all the punishments have been doled out. We know that things aren't going to get worse for any of our characters because they're already so darn bad. That's what we know. And these are how these tragedies stack up. A couple of notes about these. I would say that the gods are intimately involved in our lives, but in a helpful way in the Eumenides. Both Apollo and Athena want the best for man. But if we move over to Sophocles, the gods aren't on stage at all. They're not there as helpers. Man prays to the gods, but it doesn't always make the situation better. In Euripides, the gods are at best absent. In Medea, we don't see them at all, and the gods appear via magic forces that help her do horrible things. And in the Bacchae, Bacchus, aka Dionysus, actually make things worse for men, right? So if the gods are present and helpful in the Eumenides, Aeschylus' play, they are absent for the most part in Sophocles, but we still have to give them reverence. However, in Euripides, the best thing they can be is absent.